there, Attack on Titan fans. Welcome back to the Attack on Titan After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. Tonight we are talking about Season 3, Episode 4, Trust, also known as Episode 41. Guys, we're going to break down the episode, talk about the military police and maybe some new team members, I'm hoping. We're going to also talk about the Reeves company, what the press is like in this weird world, and of course, Kenny freaking Ackerman. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
This is they pulled the audio from a cover of Red Swan. This is delightful.
Okay. This is a great cover. I was gonna say, I love Lee and Lee. Yeah, she's great.
This is fabulous. Thank you so much for pulling this up. She did a really great cover of the initial opening recently, and everybody got super mad at her for using the lyrics that she did because they're like, you stole this from someone else, and they were like, she was like, guys, I wrote those lyrics for them. Why are you mad at me?
Why are you mad?
Why are you mad?
I did it first.
I did it for you. Anyway, hey there, Attack on Titan fans. Welcome back to the Attack on Titan After Show. Let's not waste any more time. Let me introduce my fantastic panel, because as you can see, we got the band back together again. Woo! To my left, Katie Cullen.
Hi, all my buddies.
To her left, Veronica Valencia.
Hey, guys.
To her left, Alexis Torres.
What up?
I almost said Alexis the Wrecker Torres.
Oh, yeah.
We all miss it. We all miss it.
Old school. And I'm Megan Salinas. Guys, we are going to be keeping an eye on the hashtag ABTVTitan. And for all of you guys watching live, I think we got the live check work.
It's working.
It's working.
Yeah,
It is no longer disabled.
So, yeah, as you guys may have noticed, we are at a new time for right now. The Voltron After Show has returned to Monday nights. So for a little while, we are going to be here on Sunday nights at 6 p.m.?
It was either 2 weeks or 3 weeks, not for very long, and then we're going to move to Mondays at 8.
So
And that will be our permanent home for the rest of the season.
So, yeah.
No, we are staying there.
Yeah. So keep an eye on the hashtag ABTVTitan for further updates on our time and our schedule. We'll keep you guys as up to date as possible. And we'll, of course, throw out our Twitter handles at the end of the show, where, of course, if you follow us, you can stay up to date on the status of this show for sure. So, guys, yeah, let's talk about this a little bit. We had a very interesting episode this time around. What do we think of this latest episode, Trust?
I love it. I love that. I used to have jokes about, oh, well, I need to finish my dinner or whatever before we watch Attack on Titan because I can't eat and watch this show. So I appreciate that we're getting a lot more political intrigue because then I don't have to schedule my viewing habits around my meals.
True. Yeah.
I enjoyed this. I love these new developments.
You know, I loved it. I got a little bit of feels because finally my babies are getting respect.
Yeah,
the respect that they deserve.
Yeah, they are.
Finally.
My precious son.
Is it respect or is it fear?
It's
Either
something.
way, yeah.
It's both.
John had a very interesting scene. We'll definitely dig into that. Alexis, thoughts on this episode?
If I seem like I'm not all here, it's because my brain is still in front of my TV where I was watching the episode. It's just sprawled out everywhere because I'm just like,
I'm just
oh my
imagining
God.
that.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is because I'm like, oh my God, so much happened, but also so many questions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's great.
This is going to be a pretty consistent refrain with this show. Is every time they answer a question, so many more pop up in their place. So yeah, I really enjoyed this episode as well. I really, as Katie pointed out, I'm loving the political intrigue stuff. It's very interesting seeing kind of one-off characters from as far back as season 1 get a little bit more development and get a little bit more of the spotlight. And it's really cool seeing what we deemed as NPCs, 2 seasons ago.
So true.
Actually maybe be significant characters moving forward. So it'll be interesting to see how all of this shakes out. But before we go, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm going to go back to that when we're done. You had more housekeeping. So
yes, I was going to say before we really get into the nitty-gritty of the episode, we have a quick announcement for you guys.
Hey AfterBuzzers, our network produces after shows for nearly all your favorite TV shows. From dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more, there is no network that works harder to serve television fans. But we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about pesky notifications, don't be, because they're optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did so in the comments, and we'll thank you on air. For now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk.
Woo. Yes. Woo-woo. Thank you guys so much. It means a lot to us. So like, subscribe, ding. You'll save a scout. Save a scout. Ring that bell. Save a scout. For sure. Okay.
nobody really knows what that YouTube bell does, but supposedly it helps the channel, so please do the thing.
Please, thank you.
We already told you what it does. It saves the scouts. Save the scouts, guys.
Good enough.
So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this episode. So a couple of those characters, in terms of like NPCs from season 1 that I never thought we'd see again, Marlo and Hitch.
I'd forgotten who they were.
Same.
And then it was, I was Annie's roommate. Oh, you have a function here. Kinda.
See, that's what I was going to say, is because so much time has happened between the airing of all of these seasons, you need to go back and rewatch this show quite a bit just to know what they're coming into next.
Well, and Megan and I actually had a chat about this after we watched the episode. This is a show that doesn't waste anything. If someone has a name, odds are they are coming back somehow. Like, the only time that we've had a completely throwaway character was last season, and it was some guy. And I will forever love, because people who watch this show at this point are well trained. If they have a name, they are important. They will show up somewhere else, or they have shown up somewhere in the past. Like, if it's not just my dad, if it's not just this person, if they have a name, they've done something or they will do something. So by calling that person some guy, they make it very clear that this person, his only function is to have ODM gear that Bertolt and Reiner can take.
Yep.
That's it. That's why he's some guy and not Bob Smith. Because then we'd be looking for Bob Smith.
Oh no!
So that is the only...
Bertolt, how could you?
That is the only time we have had a decidedly throwaway NPC, and that is the one time that they have made it very clear that he is decidedly throwaway by giving us the wonderful running joke of, oh no, he ate Emir and some guy.
and some
guy.
I love the idea, and we shouldn't stay on this tangent for very long, but I love the idea of like whoever it is that said that, like, would always see that person in passing but like never knew their name.
It's like, hey, you.
It's been too much time. Like, they got introduced at first, but the other person forgot, and after a while, too much time had passed, and so it would have been awkward to ask. And so when this person gets killed, it's like, oh no, not you.
That guy. And some guy. Well, which guy was it? Well, who's not here? It was him. Whoever's missing, it was that guy. No, it wasn't that guy. It was some guy.
That was actually his name.
Anyway, we stayed on that
that
tangent for too long.
I enjoyed it.
Doesn't waste anyone. If they have a name, they have a story.
Yeah.
Very, very true. This, for me, looking at these two, I really appreciated seeing them again, because when they were, I feel like this is a really good indication of the changing status quo, because these were characters that were talented enough to get into the top 10 and who chose to be military police. Because as far as we know, they're probably only a year or two, maybe 3, older than the rest of our
group,
than the rest of our troop, because they're,
Top 10 in a previous class.
Exactly. So, but they'd been in the military police long enough to get lazy.
Yeah.
And so seeing how entitled and self-important they were in season 1 for that brief glimpse that we got through a day in the life of Annie Leonhardt,
A day in the life of a spy.
we see how self-serving they all were, but then the actual fight happens, and these same self-important, entitled kids had to clean up hundreds of bodies.
So insane.
Hundreds of bodies, and they were completely unaware about what had happened to Annie. And it was of Hitch's opinion, you know, she didn't want to admit this until they had literally been captured, but she had to kind of face the reality of, like, you know, we haven't been able to find Annie. It's probably because you scouts, you did this, you brought the Titan there, and now she probably got crushed to death to the point where we couldn't even identify her.
But
like, actually, she brought the Titan in because she brought her damn self.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say Levi checked her.
Oh, so beautiful. I was just clapping. Just in the background, just like,
Just that moment of, well, actually.
Here's what you need to know.
Let me fill you in and completely blow your minds open in the process.
Alexa, play Craig David's Fill Me In, please.
Alexa, play Despacito. That's so sad.
But, I mean, it's so interesting because this is a lot of information for these two people to process in a very short amount of time, because Hitch had to come to the realization of, like, oh, this person that I didn't bother to get to know, this person that I gave constant grief to is probably dead.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we haven't had any sign of her. She's just disappeared. And keep in mind, this is probably still only, like, maybe a couple weeks after that whole incident. And so then, on top of that, then learning, oh no, the person you thought was dead and were feeling really guilty about, she was actually a traitor. She was the one that murdered all those
All those
people.
people that you had to
she
clean up. Yeah.
did all of this, and none of you noticed. None of you were aware. And so, like, that's a lot to sort of take in.
I feel like, yes, to your point, Megan, it is a lot to take in, but I feel like that was just too much from that point, because they are pretty low class on the scale of military police. So
Yeah, they get the grunt work.
Yeah. Not only do they not know about what's going in within their own walls, they don't know what's going on with the scouts either. So they probably are just, I don't know, so fed up at this point with just not knowing anything.
And that's
I
what
did.
I,
Go
no,
ahead. Go ahead.
But that's why I loved that Levi was the one that was just like, oh, you guys have no idea what's going on, and like had to just set them straight pretty much, but also gave them, well, with the help of Jean, but like gave them the benefit of the doubt of just like, okay, now that we're all on the same page, now help me to help you so we can figure things out now.
But I love, even before that, even before the ambush, we had Marlo questioning, like, why would the scouts murder a civilian? They're the ones that go out and put their lives on the line to protect civilians. Why would they turn around and murder a bunch of them? It doesn't make any sense.
It made me so, that just made me so happy, because as something I've mentioned previously, there are people who can't look past the fact that the scouts failed. If a Titan comes in and there's death, no one can get over the fact that they just failed and they're the ones that are evil. But the fact that someone else like Marlo has said, you want to know what? These guys have a lot that they're putting on the line. They're putting their lives on the line. They are doing all of this for us. So it just made me so happy to finally have someone support them, even kind of sort of in a way.
I do love all the scouts know is failure. Like,
Okay.
Defeat is all we've ever known.
you've hit rock bottom, a solid foundation. Now let's go. We did it. It's one of those Courage Wolf memes. Hanji Zoe is Courage Wolf.
Could you imagine Attack on Titan motivational posters?
I really do need, like, Hanji Zoe as Courage Wolf memes now. Like, get on that fandom. I need it in my life.
In our list of ever-expanding requests for fan art, please send us your best Attack on
you
Titan
don't-
motivational poster.
But you don't have to actually draw these. You can just shitty Photoshop.
Yeah,
That's what's so great about this. One person makes a base, and then everyone else is like, run it through a meme generator and apply text. That's all you need to do.
And I have to give kudos to the show as well, because we get a moment with Jean. Because Levi makes it very clear. He's like, look, we're not going to murder you kids. We are murderers, but we're, like, not going to murder
We have principles and
children.
morals.
We're not going to murder you. We're going to let you go. Oh, by the way, we're going to murder you.
Well, yeah, and that was the thing, is that, like, as far as they knew, Sasha was just going to go tie them up, and then Jean volunteers to take care of it. And I was almost expecting him to be like, I'll take care of it
Wink.
Yeah.
You know how winking works.
But then, yeah, we have this moment where he basically says that he's going to murder them after he's taken them to a secluded part of the forest. And I'm not gonna lie, for a moment,
Split second.
I thought he was overcompensating for the fact that Armin had committed a murder to save him. For a split second,
Same,
I was
same.
like, Jean, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was really confused because I was like, okay, this is not how you're supposed to, like, hey, you did this, so now it's my turn. It's like, no, this is not the time. You need to rethink your thoughts.
I feel like it was his time to prove that he could be ruthless if he needs to be, because everyone else has had their moment where they really needed to just do what they needed to do to get things done, and this was his opportunity, but
like, no,
not
no.
really.
And what's great is that they were able to sell it to the audience that way, is that we were all uncertain as to whether or not he was going to actually do it. And that is great character development, great writing. I think about a minute or so in when we realized, like, oh wait, no, he's kind of doing the full ghost face reveal here, isn't he?
Yeah,
Like he's chewing scenery, he's brandishing a knife, he's going way over the edge. He's got to be
Insulting the guy's
acting.
hair.
Yeah.
Like,
This is one of
okay?
those moments that makes me really sad that the abridged series isn't continuing.
Because this would be amazing.
I would absolutely love to see this moment as
Agreed.
portrayed as Jean going, "Ha! I shall murder you now, forthwith!" Like,
Jean.
just being really bad, being a really bad actor in
Yeah.
this moment. I think that would have been hilarious. So it makes me sad that I won't ever see anything like that. However, what I do love about this is, that whole thing of we're walking a line, because I thought he was absolutely going against Levi's orders in this moment just to kill these two people who really are defenseless in this
I'm going to
moment.
prove that I am hardcore.
Yeah, that's exactly what went through my head. It was like, I am a hardcore warrior. I'm gonna do it. And I was like, Jean, no!
I have no idea if you're referencing something or just doing
No.
a real good imitation.
No. It was just like, just what my brain, that's how he talks in my brain, and it's awful.
I just need that on a shirt with John with a knife. I am a hardcore warrior.
But I also
Yeah, okay.
loved when he just full swing right in the side of the noggin. I was like,
Yeah.
is he alive? That looked like it hurt. You're like, yeah. The fact that he was talking after, I was like, nah, you need to.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at this
Somebody.
going, concussion,
Yep.
fractured eye
Eye
socket.
socket, yep.
How is he not dead or it's brain dead?
It wasn't even bleeding that much. I was like, what's happening?
That's when we kind of lean into anime rules for
Yep.
physical violence,
Yep.
not Attack on Titan rules, but anime rules.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of blow that he took it to the temple. That's the kind of blow that
Yeah.
can kill a man.
Hitch clocked him real good.
Like, that was literally like a full swing. Like, she was trying to hit a home run with his face.
Well, she didn't know
No,
that
of
he
course
was
not.
putting on an
I
act.
was proud of her. If this was actually happening, I'd be like, well, you deserved
I
it.
mean, that's a little bit on Jean for, like, not... Because, like, they just let her run off. Cause
No, he did,
Marlo
yeah.
was like, Hitch, run! And then she disappeared, and
She doesn't know what's going on.
Jean didn't...
And I mean, I thought she was going to be gone.
Yeah,
Kudos
same,
for
same.
her on coming back.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think this whole sequence says a lot about these two characters, like I said, who initially came off as so superficial.
Yeah, sure.
Keep in mind, at their core, they signed up to be in the military for a reason, and they, with the knowledge that if they didn't get the top 10, it was wall duty or scouts.
Yep.
And they were prepared to probably wall duty, if we're going to be honest.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they were still prepared to serve and potentially put themselves in the line of fire.
Agreed.
Like, if they were only a year or two ahead of our class now. That how long does it take to go through the military? Was it a year of training or was
3
it
years.
several? 3 years. So if it's only a year or two ahead, they would have been in training when the wall fell and remained in training. Like, at their core, they'd signed up, they were ready to serve, they knew what they were getting into. And then being inside the innermost wall and being in the military police has made them lazy, but it hasn't really changed who they are at their core. And I think this scene absolutely revealed that.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, and we get this moment when this whole thing sort of shakes out, and they see, oh, he was never really going to kill us. That was never his intention.
That stick
John
was
for being
loaded.
so convincing.
I know. I really wanted to be like, oh, thank you.
Like, my gun is faster than your knife. Your stick gun?
No, yeah, because at first when he did that, I was like, that doesn't look like a barrel of anything. What? What is that?
Also, do pistols like that exist in
Yeah,
this world?
it was like a straight up.
This is still very much like a musket technology.
Yeah,
And the pistols that we've seen have had the huge barrels.
Yeah, so I was like, no.
They're like Reaper pistols.
Yeah.
Like that's
I was
what we're
confused.
working with.
Oh my lord.
And when they're done, you just throw them and then pull more out of the ether. That's how this works.
Anime rules.
Anime rules. Reloading.
But sort of getting these two characters at like having them sort of join up with our team, I think actually was sort of a very touching moment because like they agreed to like go in and return and sort of be their men on the inside.
Yeah.
And the way that they salute Levi, it was like, oh, it was very touching. And the fact that he said, by the way, kids, we're grateful. It's just like, oh.
Yeah.
But again, I think them deciding to help them so quickly is because this is what I thought. They're just so fed up with being the men on the outside. They don't know anything. They get treated like dirt. They want to serve some purpose because, as you were saying, Katie, they signed up for this. They want to serve purpose.
And we're
And
also
then
out
they
of
had
options too.
Yeah.
You know.
And then they had the revelation that, hey, this person that was your roommate and served alongside you, she was out to wreck everyone the whole time. We forced her hand, but... And just the whole, it's like, oh, you released that Titan in the city. They did everything they could to get her out of there without transforming. No one knew that she had a tiny stab ring. So,
Yeah.
And the other thing
Problems.
is that, again, being in the top 10, we can assume that these kids, even though they're very young, they're very smart. They're
Yes.
very
Yeah.
intelligent.
Yes.
And it doesn't take a lot to sort of put together that something weird is going on. And we see that with Marlo. He's able to put it together about like, hey, this story doesn't make sense. And these kids have strong enough characters to be able to recognize, look, something is clearly going on. We want to help you. So, yeah. Any final thoughts on sort of the Marlo and the Hitch front in this episode?
bless these nerds. I can't wait to see what they get up to.
Same.
I don't think they'll survive to the end of the season.
No.
But I can't wait to see what they get up to.
Here's-
Like Junior Detective Squad.
Oh
Here's
no.
hoping they don't die.
Yeah.
I mean, the second we saw them in that opening scene, I was like, oh, they're going to die. But I spent this entire episode saying that about everyone. So,
So
Can't
that's
get
true a little
attached
bit.
in this show.
No,
Yeah,
you can't.
you
You can't do
can't.
it. Except
You
for
can't.
my man Levi. Sorry. I mean, no,
that's an attachment.
But no, that is an attachment.
I was terribly attached to some guy.
I know. And then all of a sudden just, and it's gone. No, it's okay. I will preface this. If Levi goes, I will cry. It'll happen. But, like, I also understand.
Yeah, I lost
also
it
know
at Hannes last season.
Yeah.
All right? Like, there's no shame in being upset when someone you like dies.
Yep.
But at this point, you're not allowed to be surprised anymore.
No,
You get to be surprised when someone survives. Like, and
Yeah,
here's
every
your
episode.
segue, Erwin.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Let's talk about Erwin. But first, real quick, before we do, I want to talk to you guys really quickly about iTunes.
I gave you a segue and everything.
And time-wise, it's time to talk about iTunes. Folks, thank you to everybody who's gone to iTunes to rate, subscribe, leave a comment. We love hearing from you, and it is the best way to let our producers know that you guys like the show that we're putting on. And last week, we talked a little bit about the fact that all of our previous iTunes comments had been wiped, and boy, did you guys come back and deliver. So for people who do go to iTunes to let our producers know that you guys like their show, we like to give you a little shout out as a big thank you.
And we've got 4, so we can just
Yeah.
jump into it. I'm not going to have time to read everybody's, but I'm going to just say a couple things. We've got Mikasa. Oh, I'm going to mess this up. Hyakuya. 5 stars. Thank you. Oh my God, I love your podcast. I love hearing from other people that love Attack on Titan as much as I do. It's awesome hearing your unique perspectives and thoughts about this amazing show. Then you've got Kate. Slew of numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Kate,
oh, they
1
switched the 9 and the 8. 9, 8.
Kate, 1 through 8.
Yeah, pretty much. And she so happy that you're back. 5 stars. I work in manual labor, and I'm lucky enough to be able to listen to my phone while I work. I fill my days with podcasts about the show I watch, and I've been counting the days until you guys came back. Aww. This is my favorite recap cast, and I love all of your guys' commentary on this crazy, wonderful show. Hearts, 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 hearts. Here's to another amazing amazing season. We've got Mira Maki, Hermagerd, 5 stars. So excited you're back. When a new Attack on Titan season comes around, I am just so excited for the newest episode of this podcast, as I am about the episode of the anime. And then last but not least, love, just CJ, 5 stars. I just started listening about 2 episodes before the big finale in season 2 and fell in love with all the feelings and emotions that were somehow shared between myself and all of you. It's an amazing show, and it made me hate Mikasa and Aaron's ship, but love Amir and Historia. I'm not going to get into the rest of it because it's very long, but thank you guys so much.
Which is great because we've never told anyone not to ship anything.
Nope.
We've just expressed our opinions on various ships.
I mean, I did say please don't ship Mikasa and Levi because gross, but to each their own, I suppose.
I'm starting to think that Ackerman is kind of like the Smith of this show. Like, there's
how many are
1,000
there?
of them, and they might not be related.
Well, we'll touch on that in a little bit, but again, thank you guys so much. It means a lot, and it's definitely one of the highlights of my week to see what you guys have to say. So thank you. So yeah, let's talk about Erwin.
This human.
Okay, so last week.
You don't get to cry over Reiner anymore, so you picked another blonde guy with eyebrows to cry over.
I just have a type. It's fine.
Noticed.
I know. That's all I think about every time I see a scowling face.
The 2 most masculine-looking cast members. Oh yeah,
Sure.
Megan, weird. Yeah, I'm so weird for thinking they're
You
attractive.
find them disarming.
I.
She did not.
The fact that it took you a minute and that expression
guys.
was just beautiful.
It was a great show.
Great.
Thank you
I
for
hope
having
the camera was on us when that happened because I need that gif.
I hope you all enjoyed Katie's presence on the show because I'm about to murder her. So,
Hey, you don't get to kill your Black Lion. We got Voltron tomorrow.
We do, and it will be so sad. It will be so sad when you spend the rest of the season in the astral plane. So, anyway, neither here nor there.
I just have to find my clone.
My point is that
also disarmed.
last week, Alexis. I'm so lost. Alexis made a pun. She made a pun.
I'm so proud of
I'll
you.
leave now. Thanks.
Well, so
Alexis's finest moment.
I found it wonderful.
All you get from me.
It was wonderful.
I just like to be punished.
ladies, Erwin. Last
Yes.
week we found out that his dad got killed.
Yes, we did. It was
Yes.
awful.
And now
It was a learning experience.
he's been apprehended by the military police who interrogate him.
Well,
And then the next time we see him, he's completely.
that was rough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was very rough to just knowing their interrogation methods and how far they are willing to go when they are torturing people for information. Knowing that, and like, again, great editing here because they approach him and they're like, okay, it's time for your interrogation, and then they cut away. And
5
then-
minutes later, we come back and it's like, all right, I see the
how it
interrogation went well.
I really appreciate the show for not taking us through the gruesome details of what they clearly did to him.
Yeah, because I feel like with the show, we already get to see a lot of gruesome things as is, but at least they know better to be like, okay, we're doing human on human torture now. Maybe we should take a step back and actually not show that, which is great because sometimes most animes are like, nah, we'll show it. Deal with it. And I'm really glad that Attack on Titan doesn't do that.
Well, and evidently the show has toned it down from the manga because people were saying the initial interrogation scene that we got from the military police was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, so
And we did get a later interrogation scene in this episode because God bless Levi.
speaking of, I need to remember to do this at the top of the show every week. Guys, please no manga spoilers. Pretty please.
Yeah, so
keep them
far
out
the
of
chat has been behaving.
Thank you guys, we really appreciate that. Keep
2
them out of
weeks
the
ago, chat spoiled me.
Keep keep spoilers out of the chat. Keep it out of the YouTube comments, pretty please.
Keep it out of the hashtag. Keep it out of the everything. Be
respectful. Be cool.
that's the word I was looking for.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But yeah,
You kind of interrupted yourself.
did I?
Yes.
Oh boy. Oh
It's
boy.
been a long day.
Back to eyebrows.
Back to
Guys.
poor Erwin.
I don't want him to die. I
Well.
really don't.
Well,
But I don't know.
Now,
See, if he does, I won't feel as bad. We already kind of got the shock. Hang on. Most Titan deaths are horrifyingly violent.
True.
And oftentimes come at the hands, or rather mouths, of Titans. And we got that shock with Erwin last season. Pardon me.
because he's amazing.
correct.
Even without
if
an
he-
arm, he's like, Erwin to the rescue.
So
love
if he
it.
dies via hanging, it's not going to be that same, oh my God, sort of like,
Well, maybe
all
for
right,
Megan.
we've already prepared for this eventuality. We had the fake out once. It's not that I won't be sad, it's that I won't be shocked. It will feel like a death that's a little more, all right, we're moving the plot forward, we're doing this, something that has a point to it more than, well, you have really bad luck and that Titan had really good aim.
I'm just looking at Megan's face the entire time.
She's gonna kill me.
For real.
She's gonna kill me.
You're right about the fact that like it's less of a shock value death because this is an active political agent. Like we don't want to see him get hurt. We don't want to see him die. And he obviously wants to keep bloodshed to a minimum. But at the end of the day, he is planning a complete and total upheaval of the government.
And it's his face on the line. Like, he even said that in the last episode. Like, he is being the face of the Scouts. So
Yep.
if anyone is to take any kind of repercussions for this, it is him. And it just makes me so sad because this is his plan. This is what he is putting in place for everyone to do. And he's just taking the biggest fall for it. And I'm just like, Erwin.
But he knows that Hange and Levi are still out there and that he
Yeah.
can trust the both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, it's interesting too because Hanji is sort of acting as a free agent in this moment. She's
amazing.
She's so good.
Again, leaving Hanji to her own discretion. Like she makes an excellent move.
Yeah.
And she goes after Flegel? Reeves?
Flegel.
Flegel.
Is that how you
Flegel.
pronounce his name?
I mean, you know how it's, wow.
That was really dumb, guys.
I love it! I'm surrounded by people who make puns. Anyway.
You know how when people who don't speak Japanese try to make up Japanese names and they just kind of go with syllables and hey, that sounds good.
Sure.
I kind of feel like that's what's happening in this show when people who don't speak German try to make up Germanic names.
Sure.
And
I'm
we
with you.
wind up with Flegel and Hitch. Which sounds like it should be like a Starsky and Hutch reboot.
Yeah.
It's like the C movie version of Starsky and Hutch. It's filmed with a wide angle lens in someone's backyard and it's using their really old car.
Oh my god.
You know, I was just gonna say, I want to give a shout out to Hanji, not just for, you know, this great takedown that she did, but I know some fans, obviously this is a more political season, and we're so used to heavy action in previous seasons. I'm more than satisfied just seeing her like Spider-Man down to like
That was
like,
amazing.
That is enough to satisfy me.
Hanji to the rescue!
Come with me if you want to live.
Yeah. Oh, it was so
That
cool.
was incredible.
Yeah, because we mostly see her using her smarts in different ways, so it was really nice to see her in full action, if that makes sense. Because we obviously get to see her start, you know, something, and it's usually again her using, and she did that technically in this episode too. But like, oh, it was just so cool watching her just like fly off of a building and just like, I'm about to wreck you completely. Like, it was just awesome.
Well, and she has this really great interaction with Reeves right after she rescues him because he knows who's responsible for his father's death, and that's why they need to silence him.
Yep.
And so he's been running for his life. And when she's like, "Hey, if you want to, you can put your life on the line and maybe achieve something great and avenge your father." He's like, "Look, not everybody's like you guys. Not everybody's willing to throw their lives away so carelessly." And she makes this great point about like, needing to fight for the greater good and like, hey,
greater
you
good.
can make something of yourself and actually achieve something. And yeah, you're risking your life, but it's better than running and hiding.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure by that point his decision was already made, but as we see later on when he is being confronted by the military police, it just makes the decision that much more better for him when he finds out that his dad was doomed either way.
Yep.
Whether he went
Yeah.
with the military police or whether he betrayed them, because he would have known too much. So
Yeah.
his decision was very easy, I feel.
Well, and we had this great sort of planting and payoff in this episode, too, by introducing the members of the press, talking to the military police when Erwin was apprehended. And then we get this standoff between Reeves and the military police. And after Hange comes to the rescue, like, we get this
my God,
wonderful
so
shot
good.
of the crowd who are like, yeah, this isn't an abandoned alleyway, assholes.
It may not look like much, but we live here. And you come to our house.
A beautiful cut to those same two members of the press, and it's just like the power's in their hands right now. They can either run with this story or they can go and report it to the military police and cover it up.
Yep.
Honestly, word of mouth and grapevine being what it is, I think that the official story is going to have nothing on the, hey, this is what I witnessed and you all need to know it now.
Yeah.
Like every single one of those people goes home, tells their friends, tells 5 people, tells, if they go shopping, hey, I heard this thing, and you tell a shopkeeper, and the shopkeeper tells everyone who comes in to buy stuff. Like, we might have a little bit of a game of telephone going on. Things are probably going to get exaggerated, but let's be real. There's no way the press is going to be able to keep this quiet.
Yep.
Way too many witnesses.
Yeah, there was, 3-4 floors, like, of
Yeah,
people?
people-
It
I'd
was
say
insane.
at least 50 people.
Yeah.
At least.
The military police made such a big deal about saying the scouts are responsible for civilian murder. We need to capture all of them. Like they made such a big deal about that if it gets out that no, this was a hit by the military police, that's gonna start unraveling a lot of things that the military police has said.
And there will be a lot of people questioning, well, was this murder done by the military police?
Yeah.
Because it looked like robbers, but nothing was really taken. And was this one done by them? How many people have they killed? What are they keeping from us?
Yep.
And just like Hitch and Marlo earlier in the episode, I'm so happy that things are starting to look up for the scouts.
Same.
Yeah. A little light at the end of the tunnel is great. Although, talking about Erwin, you also get the notion that he has a contingency plan in case it doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The wheels are already in motion. And, like, the fact that he has this discussion with Niall of, like, hey, just out of curiosity, where's your family at again?
They doing okay? They're near this part of the wall? Yeah, so
You
I've got this plan.
You might, I don't know, want to go on vacation.
I was gonna say, you have any vacation
them
days
somewhere.
saved up?
Yeah.
Do you want to maybe go over and visit your family? Go stay on their farm for a little while? Just I mean, nowhere's really safe, but that might be really not safe.
I mean,
Just saying.
Erwin's smart enough to know that his hearing is going to be more of a formality before they actually send him to the gallows, so he's clearly got things in motion.
They drag him in front of the king, and it's like, so any last words?
What? That's not a hearing.
That is not a hearing.
I don't think you know how laws work.
And I do love that every time we see the king, he is in the elbow on the armrest, head in hand, do not give a single fuck about what's happening position.
Yeah.
That's not a good way for a king to comport themselves.
Sure.
We are running a little short on time, so guys, we have to talk about the bit of information that Levi uncovers in this episode when they start interrogating this, I guess, public discourse intelligence guy.
Such a title.
Such a weird, weird division of the military
PDI guy.
But he basically mentions Kenny by name. Kenny Ackerman.
How many are there?
How many
Just tell me
Ackerman are
now.
there?
I'm telling you, it's like Smith as a last name. There's just
I
like
don't
50
think
of them.
so.
Yeah.
I know. But at this point, it's like, that's an Ackerman, and that's an Ackerman, and that's an Ackerman. Everybody's an Ackerman.
The look on Mika's face, she clearly didn't think that there were any other Ackermans around.
We talked about
I am
this
related to
last
Rhinestone
week.
Murder Cowboy.
We talked about this last week, Megan, if we were wondering if Levi and Mikasa knew that they were related. Now I'm wondering if, like, Did Kenny know about them? Obviously Levi and Mikasa didn't know about Kenny.
I think Kenny's lying.
Oh, you think so?
Oh,
You don't
I think this is a ploy to mess with Levi. I don't know if he knows Mikasa's last name or cares, but I think this is a ploy to just mess with Levi.
Interesting. Yeah, because it does seem like he would use that last name to like his own devices, but not for something that it would be true. So I can see that for
Again,
sure.
it makes me wonder because Levi clearly didn't know that Kenny was going by that last name, and he's known him for years. Probably hasn't seen him in years, but he's known him ever since childhood. And again, we don't know yet if Levi and Mikasa know that they are connected in some way.
Yeah.
I mean, Levi's got to know Mikasa's last name. He's her CO at this point.
Yeah, but
we don't know if Mikasa knows. And I'm gonna sit in this corner and say, Kenny is absolutely using it as a ploy to mess with him.
Okay.
I'll jump
on that wagon.
I can see that.
That's an interesting theory.
He's pretty manipulative.
He's playing an extended game of cat and mouse with Levi and placing his bets on they'll come to us. What better way to bait a guy than to use his last name?
No, true. No, you have a point.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like that's a good prediction, and that's a good way to. Let's go into some real quick rapid fire predictions before we wrap up for the evening.
Sweet.
Alexis, let's start with you.
There's so much to unravel. I definitely don't think that Erwin's gonna die in this next episode, but I'm intrigued.
No.
I'm just intrigued to see what his plan is, because I don't know if we're actually going to get that reveal right away, or if it's just going to be a lot of just talking back and forth. So I'm intrigued to see what happens with that. But yeah, I'm also kind of in the same boat as you. I'm like, I feel like Kenny's just playing, just teasing poor Levi in this scenario. Like, haha, poke. And it's BS.
That's brilliant.
So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely just want to see more of what's going to happen with Erwin. There's going to be a fourth Ackerman. I'm saying it now, probably not. We'll see.
There's going to be 12 of them by the time we're done.
Prediction.
I mean, we don't know
Ackerman.
anything about Kenny's right-hand woman. Maybe she's an Ackerman. Who knows?
Everyone's an Ackerman. I think that we had a really great victory this episode. I think we're going to have some form of defeat next episode.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Have to.
I mean, it's status quo. All we've known is defeat.
They can't let us be happy.
They can't let us be
This
too
is Attack on
triumphant.
Titan.
Yeah.
You can't be too triumphant.
Or comfortable.
I feel like we're finally going to get some answers about who the mysterious woman in the opening and ending credits are. That's always hanging out with Historia. It looked like from the preview we're going to get a little bit of a focus on her. So it'll be interesting to see who she is.
Yeah.
And there's that random woman in the preview that none of us have seen before, except kind of in the opening.
That's what I just said.
Sorry.
Literally the thing I just said.
It's all good. We did
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Alexis, where can people go if they want to find you?
You guys can find me on social media at atoys890. If you love Winona Earp, I'm literally going to do that show right now after this. So if you love it, check it out. Veronica.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at it's me, Veronica_V. You can also catch me on the Outpost After Show Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Pacific Time, as well as the Castle Rock After Show Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Time.
I'm Katie Cullen. You can follow me all over the social medias as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. Voltron Season 7 dropped this weekend. We are going to be back Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific, talking about the first 2 episodes, having a grand old time. 10 p.m. that same night, we are doing RTX coverage. We're doing an RTX recap. And, of course, Rooster Teeth Reviews does its usual thing at Wednesdays at 7 p.m.
Cool. And I'm Megan. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TheMenguin. That's TheMenguin. Follow me on Twitter for all the updates on stuff. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you all next time.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Flaggo!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.